Can you get over grief? Is it possible? I don't think so. What do you think? Hello, welcome back to another episode of Linda's Legacy all around the coast. I'm Robert, and I've started this channel as a way of trying to work my way through the feelings that I've had since my partner Linda passed away suddenly, unexpectedly and tragically last December. In 2027, I'll be embarking on a walk all around the coast of Great Britain. So keep watching and follow my progress as I take local walks and train ahead of that brilliant adventure. And today, I'm quite close to the coast. I'm actually on Scolt Head Island, which is off the Norfolk coast, spanning between Brancaster and Burnham-Overystave. And I believe I'm the only person on here today, which is quite exciting. Now, I've had lots of wonderful comments since I've started posting on here and generally on social media. But the other day, I got one that was not quite so kind. It simply said, "Get over it." Well, that wasn't very kind, was it? I mean, everybody has the right to watch whatever they like on social media and on YouTube. And if you don't like it, don't watch it. I don't know why someone would actually take the effort to go on and then bother to write a comment. But anyway, it got me thinking, is it possible to get over it? And I think, of course, the answer is no. You don't get over losing the love of your life. You don't get over missing somebody that used to be a huge proportion of your life, of your time, of your thoughts. So what does happen? You don't get over it. You learn to live with it in a different way. Since Linda passed, I've experienced so many emotions, so many dark times, as well as so many not so dark times. And it's a new way of living, with the knowledge that Linda is not physically with me. But as I've said on many occasions, I honestly, truly believe that Linda is in my heart and that she's with me all the time. And moving forward without Linda's physical presence is incredibly difficult, but it's something that I'm learning to do in my own way, by speaking to you all, by exploring, by getting out into nature, and just thinking and remembering and recalling all the wonderful times that we had, in the knowledge that those times are now finished, which is devastating, and it's incredibly upsetting a lot of the time. But you don't get over, you move on. And my life now is so different. It's just me, making my own little way in the world. And obviously there have been new callings to me. The fact that I'm going to take on the coast walk, the fact that I really, really want to dedicate so much time to raising money for charities and helping people, and the fact that I want to also, in these videos and all the little shorts, just try and bring, most of the time, a few moments of a few moments of perhaps happiness, a few moments of fun, just less darkness, I think. I don't know how to sum it up. There are so many people in the world going through what I'm going through, and everybody deals with it differently. And whoever wrote that comment that said, "Just get over it," they're lucky so far. They clearly haven't lost anybody that meant the world to them. And when you think about it, that's going to happen to most of us at some point. You'll either be the one that goes first, or you'll be the one that's left. 50-50 chance. And no matter how horrible it is, I would say be the one that's left. Because if you love someone, you wouldn't want them to have to go through all this. Let's just take a moment to... Oh, the waves are quite powerful today. I hope you can hear me over all this. So here I am on Scolt Head Island with the sea behind me, and I think there's a good possibility I'm the only human on the island at the moment. There was only me on the ferry, and I don't think it's been possible to walk across today with the tides. So it could be that it's me and the birds and whoever else lives on here, whatever creatures, no idea. But it certainly is remote. It feels like the end of the world, but it's absolutely brilliant. I have to admit a feeling of quite a lot of guilt here today, because when Linda was here, we spoke lots of times about coming across here to the island and having an explore and having a picnic or whatever, and that never happened. But last night I just had a little voice said, go to the island. So I checked the weather, which wasn't completely correct, but there you go. And yeah, here I am. But yeah, I feel a little bit sad in a way that it's just me here, but Linda's not physically with me today. She's missed out on an amazing place. But I know I carry Linda in my heart, and I hope that somewhere she's joining me in what I'm experiencing here today, because it's completely incredible. Good waves as well today. But yeah, I do feel a little bit guilty that I'm here, I can enjoy all this on my own, but I'll have to press on. Well, I've been walking for a little while now, and I thought it was a mirage, but look what I found. Yep, there's a chair on the beach. There. Well, it would be rude not to try it, wouldn't it? Okay, so here I am, sitting on the beach in an armchair, apparently, on an island with nobody else here, just me and several hundred or thousand, perhaps, oyster catchers, and all sorts of other birds of which I do not know the names. I must look them up. I think this is as good a place as any to just have my usual little spiel. If you've come across this channel anywhere on social media, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Everything helps get this channel to grow and to then be able to get more exposure and raise more money for charity. Thank you so much. Going back to my previous thought about the comment I had, and yeah, it wasn't very nice, but whatever, move on. Everyone's entitled to make their own comment if they like. Thank you in advance. Hopefully nice ones. Yeah, so how am I doing this week? Well, again, not too bad, I think. There's always difficult days and there's difficult times in nearly every day. But I keep getting up in the morning, I keep going out, getting into nature, getting exercise and fresh air. And I think that's really all we can do at this point. And today I've come to somewhere where we said we'd come so many times and didn't. So I've made the most of the day, and here I am. Scolt Head Island is about, I think it's 1,800 acres or so, owned by the National Trust, and it's off the Norfolk coast between Brancaster and Burnham Overy Staithe. It's something like 4 miles long, and I've walked about half of that so far. Can't go any further, or I'll have to go back and get the ferry back. Otherwise I'll get very wet going back home again. And it's a totally uninhabited island. There is just, I say just, it's an absolute haven for birds and wildlife, and it's incredible. And I'm so glad I came over here today just to do a bit of exploring. I'm definitely going to come back again. Well, I come off the beach now. As you can see, look at those amazing waves behind, brilliant. Anyway, I'm at a steep slope. I found a path, which is handy. Let's see what's at the top. Goodness me, as it all opens up again. Wow. So over that way is where I'm normally speaking to you from Brancaster Staithe harbour there. Amazing, so far from it. It's the White Horse, it's the fish shed, yay. And over this way, that's a long walk all the way across. The Burnham Norton windmill in the distance, and all the way across to Burnham Overy Staithe, where I started this morning. And if I just go a little bit further, without getting blown completely, there we go, with a little bit sticking out to see there. That's all the way to Holkham. And I've just scrambled up this sort of slope here. I say slope, it's quite steep. And we'll see what's ahead this way. If I don't get blown off. Ooh. Ooh. And all the way back to Brancaster. Those clouds look quite black. Whew. Now there's somewhere we've got to explore. Well, there we go. I don't know if this is the only house on the island, but it's certainly one of not very many. It's quite cute, isn't it? Solar powered. A lovely bit of stones on the front there. Well, let's see what happens. Sadly locked, never mind. Right, time to head back, or there'll be no ferry, and that will be very bad news. This is my route back. Somewhere all the way along that way. Let's find the path. Okay, I managed to find my way down. Couldn't film that. I value my life taking it in my hands rather than trying to film me coming down an almost vertical slope there. Do you know, I feel so lucky to be here. I know I have conflicting feelings, and I mentioned about feeling guilty of being here without Linda, but I have to make the most of where I am and what I'm doing. And I do feel incredibly lucky to be here today. This is just me alone in the wilderness, and it's absolutely fantastic. A little bit windy as usual. I brought a hat, but sadly a not practical one that just blows off, so that's back in the bag. Now, I mentioned the other day on one of my shorts about feeling lucky and being lucky, and that's one of the things that really does stick with me. I am the luckiest person in the world. I had more than 20 years with Linda, and that was incredible. And yeah, it might have been nice to have had 30, 40, 50, however many years, but I'll make the most of the 22, 23 years we had, because that gave me an incredible life, an incredible love, both ways, obviously, and the opportunity to do so much in my life. And now I'm taking the opportunity to do different things for different purposes, but all inspired by Linda. And I just think that's so incredible. So thank you, my darling, for inspiring me. Listening to a podcast the other day, they were speaking about soul purpose and soul contracts. I don't know if you're familiar with that. The theory being, if you believe as I do, that we have multiple lives and everything's, well, a lot of things are set before we come here. And I like the theory that my soul decided that this would be my life and that I would endure and have to learn from great loss. And I feel that I have learned so much from it, you would not believe. And now it's given me this new purpose to explore, to help people, to try and be as positive as possible, even when I'm walking along in the middle of nowhere and it's very muddy and I'm now being rained on. Let's be positive, it's beautiful. But no, I just love that that whole theory that where I am, what I'm doing, it's all been set out for me to now make the most of things and do what I can and help others. And that's what I'm trying to do. Maybe the rain will stop soon if I'm lucky. It's so much nicer when the sun comes out, but what an incredible place. If you would like to support Linda's legacy all around the coast, there are JustGiving pages where you can donate to the two charities that I'm supporting, which is Tapping House Hospice and the East Anglia Children's Hospices. Links in the description and in my bio. Thanks so much. And there in the distance is John and the Welcome Ferry coming back for me. So that's good news. That is one cool little vehicle, isn't it? Ideal, saves my feet getting wet. Well, that was an incredible trip out to Scolt Head. Well, that was an incredible trip out to Scolt Head Island. That's really difficult to say, actually. So, answer my question then. Is it possible to get over it? I don't think so. In fact, I know so. You don't get over something. You learn to live with it. And my way of learning to live with things is to making the most of each day and doing things that I know that Linda would really enjoy doing as well, and to take her with me in my heart. That's my way of dealing with things. That's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and I'll speak to you again soon. So take care.